Hello again, it's me. This is the second video in the character analysis little mini-series that I'm doing. I'll probably keep doing these character analysis for us a bit. I've quite enjoyed filming the last one. It might not be too long of a video, but I do hope you enjoy it. I'll be talking about Head Captain Yamamoto in this one. Yeah, please enjoy. Shigekuni Genryusai Yamamoto. He's the head captain of the 13 Corps Guard squads through the majority of the series. He is the stalwart defender of Soul Society. He is introduced to us when we see all the other captains outside of Gin, Byakuya and Kenpachi, who I believe we saw before in Captain's meeting at the start. He is shown to us as an old man in a chair with a long beard, but we quickly learn that he's incredibly imposing and dominant, as everyone just follows his commands without question. Sort of an air of respect floats around him. Of course, we know that this is for a very good reason, because we soon find out that he has defended Soul Society for over 1,000 years. He formed the 13 Corps Guard squads. He's always been Captain Commander, because no Soul Reaper born in 1,000 years was as strong as he was. One cannot do a video about Yamamoto without talking about his surrogate sons, Shunsui Kiraku and Jushiro Ukitake. These two were the first to graduate the Soul Reaper Academy, founded by Yamamoto. He trained them both to be incredibly powerful captain-level Shinigami, so of course they did become captains. We also find out throughout the course of the series they are definitely some of the most powerful Soul Reapers on the side of the Shinigami. They are some of the oldest, have been captains for a long time, outside of Yama himself and Captain Unohana, who we find out was from the original Gotei 13, of course. But Yama's relationship with these two is a bit of a weird one at the start, because we don't know too much, and then towards the end of Soul Society they end up battling each other, which is where we find out Yamamoto essentially raised them as his sons. So the fact they have to do battle shows how fiercely loyal Yamamoto is to upholding the law of Soul Society. He would fight the two people he considers his children. Yama is a bit of a stereotype in anime. He's the buff old man. We've seen it with Rayleigh from One Piece, Roshi from Dragon Ball. It's nothing new, but his character design is still phenomenal, with his long eyebrows coming all the way down to his beard. His beard's so long it goes all the way to his legs. Bald head covered in scars shows his age, his grit, his battle prowess. But one thing about Yama's design that I've always loved is that a majority of the time his eyes are actually closed, which can tell you the importance of a scene. Usually his eyes will stay closed because he's seen this before, nothing bothers him, he's confident in his ability. If he opens one eye, that means he's a little bit surprised, but still nothing out of the ordinary, nothing he couldn't handle if he had to handle it. But when he opens two eyes, that's when he's serious or he's surprised and he didn't see something coming. That's when you know Yama is locked in, essentially. A good example in the series of Yama having confidence in his own ability is his battle with Aion in the fake Karakura arc. So we saw Aion for not too long. We see him defeat Matsumoto, Hisagi, Kira. He beats them all quite easily, and these are lieutenants, very high ranking, very strong. And Yama comes in to save them. Of course, he scolds Kira for making the head captain come down to save him, but he's not angry with him. He wants to teach his subordinates something, so he does tell Kira to sit back while he takes care of Aion, to keep watching because he'll learn a thing or two. And this is the truest definition of a one-sided battle. Aion is nothing but a raging monster. Yamamoto is a different kind of monster. He dispatches of Aion incredibly quickly, eyes closed the entire time. He draws his sword, splits your Aion in two, and it's done with. He is cool and composed the entire fight. If anything, he actually mocks Aion for being a dumb creature, and he teleports onto his shoulder, toying with the beast. We also see a bit of Yamamoto's respect for others in this, because the Trey Beastia come at him with only one arm each, and he respects that they are willing to fight him, even in such a battered state, so he lets them off with what he says is light burns, to which, of course, still put them down, because a light burn from Yamamoto is... you're lucky if it doesn't turn you to cinders anyway. An example of the opposite is Yamamoto's battle with Aizen, in which his eyes are open the entire time because he has to take this seriously. Aizen is such a powerful threat, and it extends into his fight with Wonderwise. The battle, of course, begins with Yamamoto using Enetsu Jigoku to incinerate Aizen, himself, and all the captains that are in the surrounding area, just to stop Aizen from making it to Soul Society. This shows the lengths Yamamoto will go just to defend Soul Society. He will sacrifice himself and a majority of the captains, including his two surrogate sons, just to stop Aizen from invading and stop him from going to the royal palace. It shows Yamamoto as this bulwark that I described him as before. He is the wall that he will not allow you to pass. Of course, it doesn't go as planned. Wonderwise comes in, absorbs all of Ryujin Jaka's fire, but Yamamoto still dispatches him with his bare hands, showing that he's a master of all Shinigami art forms. He kills Wonderwise, and then, of course, Aizen hits him with the but where did all that fire go? Leading Yamamoto to essentially tank the entire Enetsu Jigoku by himself, and he's still alive. Of course, Aizen tries to finish Yamamoto, but he hits him with a high-level Kido. I think it's Hado 96 Ikotso. I think it's how it's pronounced. But amazing moment from Yama. Even at death's door at this point, he sacrifices his own arm just to put Aizen down. Of course, it doesn't work, but I think that shows the length Yamamoto will go. One of the main reasons Yamamoto is considered so powerful is because he most likely has the most destructive Zanpakuto in the entire series, Ryujin Jaka. Ryujin Jaka is able to emit flame and control it. It can incinerate basically anything Yama needs it to. It's been shown to create pillars of fire, torrents of flame, anything. He can destroy basically anything. It's relatively simple in concept, but its raw power is shown to us many, many times. But what makes Yama's Zanpakuto so interesting is its Bankai, which we don't see until the 1000-Year Blood War. His Bankai is named Zanka no Tachi, and it has different forms based of all four directions. The first of these is Zanka no Tachi East, Kyokujitsujin. And what this does is all the intense heat from Yamamoto's blade is focused into the very tip of his sword. It doesn't burn like a fire, instead it just vaporizes and erases anything it touches from existence without leaving a single trace of it behind. We see him do this to the ground in Serete when he tries to hit Royd Lloyd with the sword. It completely erases a massive chunk of the ground. Up next is Zanka no Tachi West, Zanjitsu Gokui. What this does is it surrounds Yamamoto's body in a cloak of flame, which burns at 15 million degrees Celsius to match the core of the sun itself. No one can approach him or touch him. He will incinerate basically anything. He threatens to destroy entire Soul Society if he has his Bankai active for too long. The next ability is Zanka no Tachi South. In very much the scariest of Yamamoto's abilities, it is called Kakajuma no Kushidai Sojin, and what this does, it allows Yama to reanimate everyone he's ever killed with Ryujin Jaka's flames as burned skeletons that will fight for him. Now, that in itself is a terrifying ability because Yama's killed a lot of people over the years, and it is a very bizarre one because all of Zanka no Tachi's abilities are based around fire, and this one is just straight necromancy. So that was a very big surprise when I was reading it for the first time. But next is Zanka no Tachi North. This is the final one, Tenchi Kaijin. It creates a massive slash of pure heated spiritual pressure, and similar to East, it incinerates everything it cuts through. It just erases it from existence, which I've always thought was bizarre about Yama's Bankai. It goes from one to another so fast, of course. Being able to put all of his flames in the tip of his blade makes sense. Being able to wrap himself in flame makes sense. The skeleton thing came as a massive surprise, but it feels like Zanko no Tachi North is just a rehash of what we've seen before, just in a more powerful form. Of course, Yama's most iconic fight is his battle with Royd Lloyd, who is disguised as Yhwach. He puts belt to ass in this fight, unleashes his Bankai for the first time, and absolutely destroys the fake Quincy King. He uses all forms of his Bankai to torment him and just put him to shame. Of course, it wasn't the real Yhwach, which we do find out very quickly after the battle. The real Yhwach comes in and puts an end to the head captain once and for all after 1,000 years of conflict. We find Yamamoto was a very brutal man in his past. He was ruthless and bloodthirsty killer. So was the original 13 Court Guard squads. They were just criminals. They were Court Guards only in name, we were told by Yhwach. And he says that Yamamoto's gone soft over the years, which is why he lost this fight. And as far as he's concerned, 13 Court Guard squads died 1,000 years ago with the Quincy. But I don't think that's entirely true. In the fight with Royd Lloyd, of course, Yamamoto lost Lieutenant Sasakibe, who's been with his side for over 1,000 years because he's in the fight with the Quincy's. Now, Sasakibe and Yama have a very off-screen relationship, but we do know that it's very long-lasting and important from the way people talk about it. So Yama has this innate rage going into the fight with the Quincy's, that old rage that he used to use, which is what led to his downfall because he wasn't thinking properly. He unleashed his Bankai just to show Yhwach to kill him. He showed him everything. He didn't need to do all that, but he did, which is what led to his downfall. So I think Yhwach was wrong. I think Yama still had that bloodthirsty nature, and going back to it is what killed him. That is all I have to say about the former head captain Yamamoto. He was a man that showed very slow progression throughout the entire series. Of course, to him the entire series was a blink in his long life. We saw his downfall in the battle with Yhwach, which of course killed him in the end. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I do plan on doing more character analysis. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. If you think there's anywhere I can improve, please let me know. I do try and get these videos out as fast as possible, but I do get very busy from time to time. I shall see you all in the next one. Goodbye.